Well, there you have it. It is on, and I will be honest, it's right up there with one of the most miserable jobs I ever had to do. I still have to finish hooking up the exhaust here, but it was quite miserable to get the center two nuts and clamps on. Underneath here, there is like virtually no room. You got to get it pulled out just exactly the right amount so you can get them started. And then from there, you just have to pray. So I slid the exhaust back up on, and that'll have to be tightened from underneath. And I think we got a few things to look at here. One of the things is there's no gasket for the carburetor. I think there was supposed to be one, but there's not. Carburetor came separate from the supercharger when it arrived. So I think they were kind of put together at different times. So I guess we'll see if I have one. I sure hope so. Otherwise, we're not going to be running this anytime in the near future. That's for sure. As I said, there's no gasket for the carburetor, which I do want to. That's going to take some deciding how to fit it. It looks like it's a real strong possibility it could interfere with the starter switch, which may require me to move that. We'll have to take a look at that when I get the carburetor over here. Carburetor showed up at a different time from the supercharger, so it didn't come as like one solid kit. It came in two parts, and it is possible that it just got forgotten. I think it's supposed to be there, but I think I might have one. So I'll have to take a look. And in the meantime, I have to find a washer. So well, the supercharger's on. Like I said, I got the carburetor on just to try to see what's going to have to be moved and rearranged. As expected, the starter switch is going to have to be moved. That doesn't look like it's going to be too bad. I think I can actually just move it over where the horn was. I might have to change some cables, but like I said, one cable doesn't look that healthy anyway. So I may have to get some cables, and I will need a new starter cable because the one I have won't reach any further. And I think I'll get a new choke cable too, just because, again, I think it needs to be a little longer to loop around. One of the bigger problems I have is the air filter. There's not really a lot of room between the carburetor and the battery to put an air filter of any size in there. I really prefer not to put a little pancake thing on there because it's just not going to give you the airflow for the supercharger that you need. So I'm thinking I might have to rearrange the battery mounting bracket in order to make that work. Biggest problem I'm having right now is the nose strut right here. Supposed to bolt to the bearer plate down there, and there is no way it lines up with the bearer plate. According to the instructions, it says to take out the bolt that holds the fuel line clamp, the overflow lines, which on my engine was actually down near the bottom there. I'm not saying it's where it should be, but that's where it was, and that's where I put it back when I redid the engine. And there's no way that's reaching down there. And The only bolt that's even close is the top one in the bearer plate, but even that one's too low for this bracket. And if I have to elongate that hole, it's really not going to be much left to hold it. So I'm thinking I may have to drill a new hole in the bearer plate to mount this up. But that's for another day. I got to kind of work a few things out in my mind here and get some parts ordered, and we'll address that next time and see what I end up doing. There is a hole down there. There's really nothing. It was, again, I think it was there for the fuel lines to run through when this was originally new. But again, this won't reach that far down there. There's no way that can be the hole that we want to use. My concern is if I don't get this position correctly, I may not be able to get enough tension on that belt. So, all right, we'll call it a day. We're going to let it go for now and see what else we can come up with here before we go any further. All right, well, this nose support here, I guess they're calling it a strut, is supposed to bolt to the bearer plate. There's one that barely reaches the bearer plate. A lot of them I've seen went all the way down to the bottom of the bearer plate, where you could use both of the bolts on this side of the engine. This one, no. So I have a couple options, none of which I like, but let's see what we can do here. I'm going to mark how far down this is, at least try to anyway, if I can get my hand in here. And see how much of this would have to come off of there to hold the only bolt that it even gets close to. Whew. Well, I'll tell you what, I can elongate that hole. I'd have to come down all the way to there. It's, like I said, almost better part of another quarter of an inch. It's not going to leave a whole lot on the bottom. I don't know how important that would be. Or, of course, the other option would be to drill a hole in the bearer plate next to that, which could be a better choice. It would definitely allow me to use the whole thing. I don't know how much it might affect the alignment. I don't think it's going to affect it much. I'm kind of leaning towards that option. I don't know if I can get in there and drill it or not. But for right now, let me stick this bolt back in the bearer plate. I don't really want to take that much material off in order to get that in there. I just had a nut washer. Where'd I set it? Come on, guys, where'd I put it? Oh, there it is. It'll have to be tightened too. I have to put this on. Like so. And rest it up against that bolt and back it off just a little bit. I guess it's time to see if I'm going to be able to drill that. It's what, about 1/8 inch steel. It's not going to be any fun. And I think my angle drill is acting up. So I don't know how well that's going to work, but let's see what we can do. Okay. Yes, I drilled a hole. I'm not too happy about it, but I did it. It's 5/16 of an inch I did because the bolt is 8mm, it looks like. And I'd say the hole is almost a full inch down, almost. So I think it gives me a little more meat to work with. So we'll see how things line up now. I don't know how much interference we're going to run into with some stuff here, concerning belts, and yeah, the belts could be a problem here for sure. The hoses, it may have to be moved and drilled too. I don't know. It is certainly not completely plug and play system here. Didn't suspect it would be. All right. Took the bracket off of here. Have the pulley just sitting on there on the keyway. Yeah, it's a little bit of a problem to get the right amount of tension on this. The belt is actually hitting the other side of the belt. Yeah. So far, no good stuff here. Now, granted, I don't have to have it quite as tight as I have it, but it's not going to leave much room for adjustment. It also, doesn't run on the center of that pulley at all. It's running right on the edge. So something's going to have to get spaced out. Whether it's the pulley, which is probably the best choice. Whew, boy, it doesn't leave much room. I don't know. I don't like it. It's running kind of close here. I don't know. What do you think? What should we do here? I don't like the fit of this belt here at all. I'm thinking that belt could be a full inch smaller. Smaller belt would be very helpful. That's not good. Oh, that moves that in anyway. I don't know if that's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. It's a little better. Does bring the pulley into play, which is good. It takes a lot more pressure to push it over there. I'm still thinking half an inch shorter would be nice. Yeah, I'm thinking that would be the way to go. And of course, if I remember correctly, I had to unbolt the bearer plate to get this belt on there in the first place. I'm just thinking this belt could actually be hitting itself under load and stuff. I don't know. Oh well. I think, I mean, I don't want to do it, but if I can get a belt that's about a half an inch shorter, I think that would be a much better choice.